If Nick Cage, by chance, happens to see this, I have a story. So, an ex-girlfriend of mine, her aunt was like working in a nursing home or something, where Nicolas Cage's mom was staying, in a home. And Nick Cage comes in and introduces himself and then gave my ex-girlfriend's aunt his autograph. Voluntarily. She didn't even want it. He just gave it to her. I'm like, that sounds like Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And I got to see him once in person because his kid went to my martial arts association.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I went to Junjong Taekwondo, North Hollywood, but there's Wilshire in Santa Monica, at least there used to be, and his kid went to Wilshire.
Gotcha.
And so at the tournaments, I got, Nicolas Cage was there. He's a tall guy. Anyway, recently I showed ACHARA KIRK, The Family Man. And you like that movie?
I did like that movie. I'm a Nicolas Cage fan,
yes.
Especially like 90s era Nicolas Cage.
The Rock is my favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
Con Air, baby.
Yeah.
And Face Off. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. He's making a comeback.
He's making a comeback as Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, in that new movie.
Yep. So anyway, welcome, folks. I'm Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We're looking at Nicolas Cage replies to fans on the internet, actually me, GQ. So thanks so much for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. While you're subscribing and upvoting, subscribe to GQ. There's a link in the description below if you want to click on that, give the original an upvote, and subscribe to them from there. Here we go.
I am not on any social media.
Sideburns.
It's antithetical to my beliefs. But here I am doing this. Yes, hello GQ, I'm Nicolas Cage, and today I'm going undercover on the internet. It's actually me, it's Nick Cage.
Just the way he says that. It's Nick Cage.
There is a subreddit devoted to you. Have you heard of this?
I heard about it. I did hear that Reddit has a something about me.
You know what it's called?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I'm not going to say it. That would be arrogant. What movie role would have been improved by casting Nicolas Cage? I can't answer that either because that would be arrogant for me to determine what I would have been better at than somebody else. Next, TIL, that Nicolas Cage spent $150 million on a 70-million-year-old dinosaur skull. There's the skull I bought at an auction, and I bought it legally. Here's the MacGuffin. When the Mongolian government said that they needed it back, I gave it to them, but I never got my money back. So somebody at the auction house should be in jail.
Wow.
TIL, Nicolas Cage and Gary Oldman were the original choices to play Harry and Lloyd. Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was Jim from the beginning. I know Jim wanted me to be in it with him, but I wanted to do a little movie called Leaving Las Vegas instead. What would the most annoying sound in the world have sounded like, though?
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
I don't know how to answer that. In 1997, Tim Burton wanted to make a Superman movie starring Nicolas Cage. Why can't they just make this now? Would it matter how much time I appeared as the character? There might still be a chance. Posted. Wikipedia.
Yo, that would be something else if Nick Cage just showed up. I wonder how many people actually realize he was casted as Superman at one point.
I didn't know that.
He lucked out on that one because he was contractually obligated to do Superman, and then the studio canned the movie, but they still had to pay him $20 million. Can you imagine? Never had to show up for a day of shooting, no principal photography at all.
Those are my favorite paychecks.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Not one frame of principal photography was shot with this man, and he was paid $20 million.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Well, Wikipedia is something that people go in and they change any way they want. So I'm not sure all the facts are true in Wikipedia, but at 15 years old, he tried to convince his uncle Francis Ford Coppola to give him a screen test, telling him, "I'll show you acting." That's in fact, yeah, that did happen. And I was met by silence in the car. Next, for Birdie, in order to physically feel the pain of his character, Cage removed 2 teeth without any anesthesia. Yeah, anesthesia, yeah, that's a fact, but so you don't think I'm completely out of my mind, I had to pull the baby teeth out anyway. The timing of it worked out. It made me seem like a method lunatic, but the truth is it was something I had to do anyway. Next.
Wait, how old was he if he was pulling out baby teeth at that point? I'm not familiar with this movie, so.
I mean, maybe it's teeth that just never came out.
Maybe.
I mean, like wisdom teeth, you know?
You can't just pull out wisdom teeth.
Says you, I did it.
You pulled out your own wisdom teeth?
Yeah, I took a wrench. Like, I couldn't go to the dentist.
You're lying.
Lying, telling a joke, what's the difference?
In February 2011, he realized that he had developed his own method of acting, which he described as nouveau shamanic. He noted at some point, I'll have to write a book. Nouveau shamanic is something I came up with because I like the French sound nouveau. I thought it had a kind of a fun sound, meaning new. I had read a book called The Way of Weird by Brian Bates, and he was putting forth the notion that all actors, whether they know it or not, are recruiting the same instincts of the early shamans in the old villages from hundreds and thousands of years ago. And I like that idea, the idea of exploring your imagination. So that's where that came from.
And have you written the book yet?
No. YouTube. Whoever thought that Nicolas Cage would play as Spider-Man? Well, Spider-Man Noir was great. I really enjoyed playing that part. I liked it because I was able to bring some of my own personal interests in the early actors of the 30s and 40s like Bogart and Cagney that were in all those noir films. So that was fun for me. And they let me do it, which is unusual. Replied. This is the greatest casting of all. Yeah, but that was something that didn't happen. This Nicolas Cage is Joe Exotic, and it's probably just as well. It seemed like a fun character to play, but I have nothing in common with Joe Exotic. Cora. How did Nicolas Cage think about the decision to name his son Kal-El? Kal-El is a Hebrew name, and it means voice of God. It's also from a very famous character. I think it's a beautiful name, so that's why. In Ghost Rider, are Nicolas Cage's abs real? They are real, and that's why I will never work out that hard again, because nobody wanted to believe they were real. They wanted to believe it was CGI, which it wasn't.
I just love how bitter he is about that. He's like, I worked so hard for that, and no one believed me. So screw it, I'm going to eat all the donuts.
I love it. I love that response. He's just unabashedly himself.
Yeah.
He has zero F's to give about anything at this point. It's like you're hiring me for me at this point, guy.
Yeah. And then that's so funny that in this next movie that's coming out, which I've completely forgotten the name of, but it's literally like he's just playing himself, just being
I forgot what it's
zany
called,
and
like
loony.
Being Nicolas Cage or something like that. Like, well, no, that's Being John Malkovich.
The unbearable something of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Something about the talent.
What's the point? Has Nicolas Cage ever turned down a movie offer all the time? I know that's not the urban myth. Down all the time.
Then why did you do some awful movies?
Because they paid well.
What was that, Jiu-Jitsu
Tattoo
we
Face
saw?
Off, Nicolas Cage versus John Travolta. Winner. Oh, it's got to be Travolta. Has to be Travolta. Speed round. Fave Nicolas Cage meme. I kind of like the vampire one right off the bat. This early picture of me. I like that because it's an early black and white picture. I think it looks pretty cool.
How do you feel about memes with you in general?
What am I going to do about it?
You're right. He just doesn't give a damn. He's like, whatever. I don't know. I just love the way he answers the questions. Like
He just has a I don't really want to be here attitude.
yeah,
It's
he's
kind
like,
of hilarious.
Like, oh, my publicist told me that I have to do this stupid thing for GQ, so I'm gonna do it. Fine.
How do you feel about memes with you in general?
What am I going to do about it? It's there.
That's great.
I have no relationship with TikTok whatsoever. Nicolas Cage plays Nick Cage. What if Nick Cage didn't get the role? Well, I think that would have been fascinating to see someone else play me, which was my first suggestion, but they didn't want to go for that. They said they had to have the real me, whatever that means. Posted. Okay, that's it. I'm signing off.
He just sounds like your dad or something when he's like, okay, that's me. I'm signing off. Like, okay, I did it, right? I did the kooky thing you wanted me to do. Can I go home? Can I have a sandwich now? What?
I loved that.
That was great.
I just love how he's just unabashedly himself. He's so resigned. Because the thing about it is, after a certain point, it was very evident Nicolas Cage was just taking paychecks. You know, it is surprising that he turns down roles.
Yeah.
But I mean, my opinion or my theory would be that it's primarily based on the paycheck. If it's not paying enough, he's not going to do it. You'd be surprised at how many actors end up finding themselves in that kind of position. Gary Oldman has openly admitted he's there for the paycheck. He'll do whatever you want him to do. You just got to pay him. I mean, he's signed up for some weird movies. So him getting the Academy Award for playing Winston Churchill, I wonder how much that actually mattered to him, because he just cares about the paycheck at the end of the day. He's like, I got kids to feed. I just want to get paid. That's it. If you want me to play Winston Churchill, I'll play Winston Churchill.
I'm sure on some level.
No.
It matters.
No, he's very open about it. Okay. He's very clear, like, this is a paycheck. And Nick Cage is like, he seems very resigned. He'll do whatever for the paycheck. And they were determined to have him for this movie playing himself. He's like, maybe you should have
someone else?
There's nothing he said here that I did not believe. That's the beauty of him being this kind of individual. There's no veneer. There's no sugarcoating. This is literally like, what you're seeing is who he is when the camera's not there. And that's what I love about it.
Well, the thing that I also kind of enjoyed was just, I guess, that certain level of self-confidence, like almost arrogance, like that thing where he's like, he told his uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, like, oh, I'll show you what acting is, you know, when he was 15 years old. Like that's someone who's quite confident, you know, probably a precocious child. Sure. And so it translates to this individual who grew up to be this kind of character who's fascinating to watch. Like I love Nick Cage.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I just like that he's himself and he doesn't care.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
You know, it's refreshing in a world where people are constantly putting on an idea of what you think.
You know, if you keep up that persona for too long, you end up going and slapping someone at the Academy Awards. You can't take it anymore.
Ah!
So anyways, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.